Happy spring, good girls. I'm SJ here with my co-host Kay to talk about all things smutty, especially as the weather is warming up. And we have a lot of the jizz. Are they nationally known as jizz trees? I think they're all over the country because they
Considering that I have never heard them called jizz trees.
I think it's actually a Bradford pear tree.
The trees in our part of the country definitely are jizzy. There's a night air that's very sexy
It
with the
smells like
trees.
sex. Yeah. I guess it's a general sex smell. I can't tell if it's jizz specifically or more of a crotch kind of smell, but you can tell it's just the time of year when the trees want to fuck. And it's a great time to be reading some
Comes off,
some smuttiest of the smut, which is what you've been doing to prepare for this episode.
Yes, because schedules are busy in spring, I thought that I would switch to novellas instead of full-length novels so I didn't get tempted to stay up late, miss certain important things because I was reading, which happens. So I was like, okay, let me just read romance novellas. And I wasn't even looking for hardcore smut. And then I found
once you start looking,
found me.
It comes across your Kindle. I am so embarrassed now because if you have a Kindle that it shows ads when it's off.
I mean, mine are now just pictures of a guy's groin, in jeans.
I know. I have to cover it, and I have to figure out how to password protect my Kindle. But it's in the case that has a lid over it now because it's just
the
shows
ads
me
are disturbing.
Ads for things that I don't need my children to see.
And I used to be like, I'm never going to actually read that, and now I'm like, oh, I guess I'm going to read that. Or I read that yesterday.
Purposes, you are.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe I secretly liked it, and that's what I'm here to confess today. So, Jessa Kane, just to give you an idea, the last book that I read from her was Property of Pops. There's also a one-man job, and it has 2 women on it. Praise Me Lumberjack, Praise Me Pilot, Praise Me Princess.
Oh, this is really good for your praise, Kay. I can tell why you've been.
Oh my gosh, everything. Stepbrother's Secret, His Prized Pupil. So there's some main themes to go over for Jessa Kane. So basically, every single main girl is a freshly turned 18-year-old version who has very limited idea of sex. Her body first feels stirrings when it sees the main guy. Main guy is always at least 10 years older. They all have a thing where they like to be called daddy, but only for this girl. They all never had these needs until they saw this nubile girl. Lot of breeding kinks.
Oh, good.
The majority of the epilogues are.
Why does the breeding kink keep coming back up?
It's why it also even makes it more disturbing. I don't know if I need an epilogue when in one case, the guy was literally 62, her friend's grandpa, who she met going on vacation with a friend. And she was 21. I didn't want to see them 4 years later with their kids. I wanted to think that was a weirdly sexy little tryst. Didn't think I was going to like it, but kind of did it for me. Now I don't want to think about her having a trampoline party for her kids. And yes, that happens.
Yeah, I feel like it's odd to me when there are books that are more on the smutty, sexy, get you going kind of books. And then they still feel the need to tie in a happily ever after romance component to it. That is a little bit boggling to me. The little why choose books. I feel like the whole point is why choose, not being tied down. So then when they have an epilogue at the end that's showing how they're all happily living together as a polycule. I'm going to get to polycules later in the episode, but I don't want to cut this conversation short because this is important.
I want to go to the gift that keeps giving to stay on topic with the 2 men thing. So these are 2 guys. It is a relatively short age gap for her. It's only 3 to 4 years or so. But they are both, and they use this word many different times, blue bloods. They self-identify as blue bloods. They are married with children. And it is established that they're both basically in arranged marriages where the wives are super cool, but there's no actual love between them. They just had sex. And they used to both
So it's
fight.
a consensual open relationship kind of thing where their wives
it has not been open until they find the tutor that they both had such a big crush on in freshman year of college that it was caused a rift in their friendship. The wives discover this tutor working at a bookshop that she owns, and they're like, you're her. Can you come and we will rent you this amazing Airbnb on the water and let you have unlimited sex with our 2 husbands so that they can get it out of their system and become friends again.
I'm,
So,
try- I'm trying to form a question here. I'm just trying to think of a situation in which, I mean, I guess it's a little bit of a different case if you're in like a non-romantic arranged marriage with your husband. But I'm not sure still why I would procure sex on his behalf as a way to.
well, not only that, they send instructions about who's going to have sex with her in first. So they actually decide to do a contest. Like the wives decide this. They're texting from afar. They're checking
Okay,
in remotely,
this is a fun thing.
where the girl is going to give head to each of them at the same time in 30-second increments.
Okay, like switch back and forth.
And whoever comes first loses and does not get to have sex with her first. And they
Oh.
pack a schoolgirl uniform for her to do this in.
And this is helping repair their friendship how? I feel like giving
So
them into a jizz-off contest is only going to increase the acrimony between them.
I'm glad that you asked this. Okay, so it turns out that one of the guys developed a voyeurism kink, but only for this girl and a daddy figure. And that the other guy developed a daddy kink, but only for this girl. And he had admitted that he wanted to be that girl's, like, daddy.
But do they talk to their wives about this? Because I feel like if you have this more sort of
No.
like business arrangement, but their wives just somehow knew that she was the key both to their sexual awakening of their daddy kinks and to repairing their relationship.
The wives did not know why they had a broken relationship other than that it was loosely because of Ruby, their college tutor.
Okay.
The guy who developed a voyeurism kink did not admit this until during the head scene when he actually splooges while the other guy takes both braids of her. She has, obviously she has,
Obviously,
yeah,
sweet little
obviously she has
braids.
the two braids. He takes him, wraps him around, and is like, be a good girl and take daddy all the way down. You like that. And that is when the other guy loses it. And that's when they
Oh.
kind of all discover, like, oh,
Everything fits together, that they are the perfect
yes, where
triangular
he
match
likes
for each other.
watching. He also likes getting some, but, like, even while getting some, he's like, "Are you gonna be a good girl for your daddy over there and, like, put his dick in your
He
mouth
just
while
likes
I'm"
program management, basically.
It
He has a program management kink. He just likes to have a
so,
clipboard.
like, the biggest many problems about this. One, it felt the need to have an epilogue where they had basically also bought her a mansion in, like, Greenwich, Connecticut that the two wives ended up being lesbians with each other.
I love
But
that.
because they're blue bloods, and again, this is stated many times, because they're blue bloods, the wives can't openly be with each other
Okay.
yet. So they live across the street, so the wives can have their thing, and then the dads take turns with, like, who goes over to the mansion that Ruby lives at, and then on Friday, then, like, 2 nights a week, they do her together.
Oh, I
And she has the 2 rings. Like, she has 1 engagement ring from both of them that she puts on when she gets to the house.
so there are 3 total houses. There's a house for each couple, and then there's the house for Ruby.
Yes, there's a
Okay.
big mansion for Ruby to live in, and I
I would
just
like to
don't know if
revisit
I
this
needed
later in the episode when we
that.
talk about polycule logistics, because if I were required by law to be in a polycule, this is the kind I would want to be in, where we can maintain separate households and I don't have to have dirty hippie
It
roommates.
it didn't sound like a bad deal for Ruby. Like, she had different hot, rich guys coming to have sex with her on a schedule.
Yeah,
However,
and then the rest of her time is her own to do whatever she damn well
yes,
pleases.
and it said that she just would read by herself on her nights off. I'm like, "Okay, I'm feeling
Goals,
that Ruby's
goals.
situation," but there was just no mention of the fact that, like, both of the dads had kids. What are the kids doing on the other nights? When's your family night? That's why we don't necessarily need the epilogue. But I need to talk about the most problematic part of this, which is that I've now
Or
reread it like 3 or 4 times.
for research purposes.
I'm just like, I want to make sure, like, I want to have sex with my husband tonight. Might as well do some
You're like,
foreplay with
time to
myself.
revisit my favorite chapters.
Yeah, might as well, like, read when the guy's pulling her from the 2 braids and all of a sudden the other guy splooges, because I guess I'm into that. I don't know.
But in this one, the age gap also is that she's older than them, right?
No, no, no,
Sure.
no, no. This is the only one where the age gap is not problematic. But there is, of course, still an age gap. It's like 3 to 4 years.
But she was their tutor in
Yeah, she is a
college.
Shakespeare expert. We don't ask questions about her freshman in college at,
So she's a freshman in
yeah.
college who's tutoring seniors about Shakespeare.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in their
Yeah, it makes
Shakespeare
sense. I
class.
mean, it makes sense as anything else in the plot in this book, so I will say artistic license, go for it, Jessa Kane. That sounds normal.
One Man Job by Jessa Kane. Also problematic. So these are two sisters, both adopted, so they're not blood related because that makes it all okay. I just want
Yeah.
to.
According to
Jessa Kane does
porn,
that.
it does.
She does like the lightest little things that make it like nothing I'm suggesting is actually illegal. And so their mom died, and their stepdad is a hot police chief. Oh, and by the way, it's always in the police uniform. And I'm like, who
Ew.
wants a guy in a police uniform? I mean, this is not saying that all police are bad, but I don't think it's like a turn on for most people.
Yeah, I agree.
So the
I mean,
two
I
girls
guess
both
that
want
it must
daddy.
be a thing,
Yeah.
but
And they fight over who gets daddy, and then they decide that they come to like a nice situation. And when he goes down on them for the first time, he lines them up so they're like lying one on top of the other, and he's licking them all in one big stroke. Which
I'm
like
just picturing a cat washing itself, how it's just like,
yeah.
like, down
I
the
was
side of
like,
its fur, like, that doesn't
what about
seem like good head giving.
there was other ways to do it that both of them are involved where they're not both getting joint licked at the same
I mean,
time.
there's plenty of porn with threesomes that you can get lots of ideas from. And we've talked a lot about things in books that it doesn't translate well to the screen. And Twilight was just a great example of that. Of you're reading the book and you're like, oh, okay, especially when you're 16 or whatever, you're like, this seems romantic. And then you see it portrayed more or less accurately on the screen and you're like, this is making me giggle so hard. But I feel like if you actually directed a porno where you had that situation set up, you it would be so funny and ridiculous looking at somebody just going, "Ah,"
Yeah, the
down
guy
the line of
doing
pussy.
it, the two like naked women on top of each other who were sisters. So this brings me to Praise Me Pilot, another really important Jessica Kane book.
Well,
So
I have a
what?
question. Did Praise Me Pilot come out before or after Lumberjack in the Jessica Kane chronology?
Oh, well, you can read them all without reading the others. You
That's
actually
great.
really only have to read one over and over again because they're all basically the same. But I did not know about the
Good for
chronology.
her.
So, Praise Me Pilot is also amazing, where the girl is her mom has passed away. She's raised by her dad, who's always flying. He's a pilot and is not, so she has daddy issues, just not
Okay.
present dad. So, he doesn't show up for a parents' weekend at college, and instead, he sends his friend, another hot pilot, about 15 years older than her. They first of all have a lot of public hookups in front of the other parents at the parents' weekend, where the dads are referred to as watching and jacking off while being peeping toms as they're hooking up. And there's a lot of daddy, be a good girl talk. I'm your daddy now. I'm going to pay your college tuition because that's the way that this relationship's going to go down.
I
But
mean,
here's.
honestly, student debt can be crippling, so whatever you gotta
Well,
do to
her actual dad was paying it. He was more saying, I'm your official daddy now.
so he's just saying it as a turn on then
No, no, no,
I
no,
mean, that would turn
he's
me
also
on.
doing it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he is saying it and he's doing it, and then this is the culmination scene that I need to share with you, which is that somehow they both are in Barcelona because she goes on one of the flights that he's piloting and the dad's also piloting a separate flight to Barcelona. They end up staying in the same hotel as the dad in neighboring rooms, so it's very clear that the dad can hear them, and
The dad obviously set this whole situation up, so he's some kind of weird
he
procurer
just
for
gave
his
his,
he's
like,
his daughter's
agreement.
pimp.
And the male main crush pilot is loudly spanking her like, "Who's your daddy now? Like you know that I'm now the one who gives you your discipline, your love, all that." And she's like, "You're my daddy." And I just like I don't I reread that scene a few times too. So what I'm trying to say is that I just think that these books are so interesting because one, they are true smut. How could you dare call books like Sarah J. Maas's like extreme fantasy trilogies or all these different
I
books
know, with,
smut
like,
when there's
2 sex scenes that are all, like,
yeah,
things that I feel like most
very,
other
very
than the fact that there are
PG sex
wings
scenes.
involved, are very much just, like, what a standard or a vanilla couple would engage
No,
in.
these were like exactly the experience of porn.
Yeah.
It felt like porn
In
in
a book.
every way. It felt like nobody could look over what I was reading in my shoulder. I don't even think I was, like, ready to admit to my husband what I was reading about other than, like, I was ready.
Is he gonna find out via listening to this episode then?
I tried to, like, lightly tell him, like, "I'm kind of reading some, like,
Reading
creepy
some
stuff
weird shit.
lately." Yeah, like, the girl literally just said, like, "Come at me, grandpa." Oh my god, I didn't even get into, like, Property of Pops, because Property of Pops is a really, really important ending. So again, he's 62, she's 21. It ends with them at a trampoline party for their kids, like, literally Get Air style
Yeah,
trampoline
yeah.
party, and they
Which is my
hint
personal hell.
so hell, right?
Yes.
They hint to their granddaughter, like, "Hey, can you take over from here? Because, we just have to go grab something in this other closet." And she knows, like, "Oh, there goes my grandpa with my best friend, like, they're gonna go have sex as usual."
On a
And then
trampoline.
they have a sex scene in this, like, private trampoline party room, and I'm like, "Was this written by somebody who has kids and who has been to one of these trampoline parties? Because they are the least sexy places on earth.
Yeah, you would just
The
get
fluorescent lighting,
they're so filthy
the
and
cardboard pizza.
unromantic and just screaming kids. And they have private party rooms which have giant windows in them because you usually have one kid eating pizza and one kid out on the trampolines. And there's no trampolines in the private rooms. Like I think that she's picturing a
She
very
had some
sexy
yeah, you're right.
trampoline world.
She, like, took off her underwear, and then she, like, jumped on the trampoline, and then he's like, "Come to daddy," and she's like, "Fuck me, grandpa."
You know
I
what?
was like
1,000 points to Jessa Kane for creativity, though, because I never in a million years could have come up with this stuff. Like, I never would have been like, where's a good creative place to have a sex scene for my smut book? And I never would have thought about Trampoline World because I would be too constrained by reality. And clearly she is not. Like, I think I have spent too much time in birthday parties at trampoline parks, and she's just delightfully unencumbered
I think
by
I
the
think I love her.
reality.
Somebody this is, like, a great review for one of her books, Suddenly His. "This book isn't too taboo for me. It's fucking pedophilia that's romanticized and practiced in a literary sense for perverted-minded people who find that they enjoy this shit." And I guess that's me.
That does sound like you.
Yeah, somebody else, like, gave 1 star, and they said, I'm not gonna talk about it." Like, meaning, like, this was so disturbing, like, I can't even, like, write anything about it. But I just think it's interesting that there are many, many, many women readers of these books. We're
Obviously, she
all
wouldn't keep
liking it.
putting them
Yeah.
out there.
So
I mean, it's like but if you think of it as porn, then, like, none of this is any weirder than what's out
I
there in the
can tell
porn
you I've
world.
never wanted a grandpa before. Like, I've literally never wanted a grandpa.
And, yeah, there are
Yeah.
things like that that work better. I mean, I realize that there is elder porn, and I have not watched it, but I think that
I've
I could
watched it.
well,
Not
so what's your
recently.
comparison? So this is another one where I feel like I might be able to be into it in a book, but then, like, watching the realities of a 21-year-old fuck a grandpa on a screen, I don't know that that would
Well,
do
that's
it
why
for
I
me.
think the book versions are nicer because in the book they can say, like, this is a
That's what I'm saying.
particularly in shape guy in his 60s, and he actually had, like, mostly still dark hair with just, like, some salt and pepper, and he was more in shape than any other guy on the beach and all those pieces. Whereas if you've ever seen the screenshots of how the elder porn looks on Pornhub, I mean, they're, like, very grandpa-y looking
Yeah,
grandpas,
yeah.
where you're more
It's a
just
little bleak.
watching, like, a sad situation for a girl go down.
Yeah, exactly. And I also feel like the pilot one takes a lot of creativity because after our conversation with Lulu, I'm just feeling like in reality, pilots tend to be kind of like older and creepy, and they're not young, sexy guys, especially because like you need a lot of flight hours to become a
Yeah,
commercial
there's not some
pilot.
hot
So, like,
32-year-old who's
they
gonna
tend to
come
be on
and
the older side, and they're also just kind of, like, gross and one of the most likely professions to cheat on their spouse. So,
oh, but not this guy. Again, all
yeah,
their names ran together. Don't ask me names.
he's too busy fucking 21-year-olds to have a marriage on the side.
Yeah, the outfit descriptions were also great because, again, written by a woman in Praise Me Pilot when he shows up to college to greet her for parents' weekend, and she thought that her dad was gonna be there. She is wearing a short plaid, like, Catholic schoolgirl skirt, but, like, the slutty
Oh,
version,
that's what we all wore in school, right?
a white tank top with no bra underneath so you can see her nipples when they harden, and high heels. I'm like, "What
To
girl
hang
is
out with
wearing
her
that?"
dad? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
when
I
she's
could
like
see
a
you would maybe wear
virgin
that
who
to a party, But, like, if you were meeting your dad for parents'
And
weekend.
all your friends were also meeting, like, all it's a sorority where, like, all the parents showed up at the same time and they all came out on the sorority house steps to greet them, like, that's what you wore? Like,
Now,
a
is she
white
the only one dressed like that in her sorority, or is the whole
The
sorority
other
just
girls do not
tits
matter in
out
Jessa
too?
Kane books.
Oh, yeah, we don't get any information about
Unless we're
them.
also having sex with them, yeah.
Fair.
So, it was just my confession that I guess it did it for me. I will probably put them down for a while just for my own self-respect, but will I come back to them if I'm having some time when this is the same way as I would watch a porn video? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can tell you, they worked.
Well, we will wait for the full review from Mr. K for and if you ask him to start dressing like a 62-year-old pilot,
Oh my
but like a
gosh.
really in shape one, so
Yeah, Mr. K has definitely probably noticed an increase in blowjobs because of, like, all, like, the daddy and good girl talk and everything like that. I'm like, "Gotta go be a good girl to my spouse." So, yeah, I think it worked for Mr. K.
lovely.
Yeah.
Well, I actually feel like this is a what I thought was going to be a completely non sequitur part B to the episode. I feel like it's actually many of the themes are tying in quite well in terms of our why choose format. So I stumbled across a polycule in San Francisco, naturally, God bless, that is looking for new members for their polycule, which like great. Um and I want this conversation in no way to be a judgment on polyamorous lifestyles, more on this specific polycule. Um, because I do wonder, is putting out an online form and doing a formal interview process a good way to find a new member for your polycule? So they have 6 people
Maybe
they
they need, like, a Blaine Anderson style matchmaker.
yeah, I do think
Uh,
that they need honestly, after reading this, I think that they need their own TV show, and yeah, like a matchmaker, and then they have, like, a reality dating show, but it's to find their 7th member, and this would really be perfect for them. Um So, yeah, I do feel like they're taking this as a very business-like kind of thing, which is weird for a, like, little polyamorous cluster in San Francisco, because, like, part of the application
I
is
mean, it
to
has to be so serious. You're picking somebody to have, like, sex with you and another person, like, the I
yeah, I as a lifelong member, not only to have sex with you, I mean,
so
you
that
are
existing
added into
relationship
their
of the stepdad.
slightly culty, polycule. You are applying for membership in their gene pool for when they eventually breed, after a 2 to
Oh.
4 year observation period. So I do feel like that takes our age group right out from application in this polycule, because if I have to wait 2 to 4 years for the opportunity to breed with them, I'm gonna be out my time will be over.
I wanna breed now.
I know,
Take me while I'm still
if you
breedable.
wanna breed me, you gotta breed me now.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so yeah, I thought about applying for this episode, but they make you share your LinkedIn, and I'm wondering if the only reason that they do that is because it makes it harder to create, like, a spam fake account. Also, it does ha they have, like, slightly businessy vibes to their application, so, I didn't wanna share my LinkedIn with them, and I also figured if they saw my LinkedIn, I come across as clearly somebody who is not interested. Here's a little bit about them. They love long walks on the beach in a line or a 3-4 formation, trying new restaurants, and watching romantic comedies while cuddled up on their couch. They say that they're non-hierarchical, but then they call themselves the Norman Polycule, and they say that it's because their leader, Norman, but they change every 6 to 7 years, but I'm like, "This polycule can't have been around for longer than 6 to 7 years because some of its members are, like, 23."
Ugh.
So, I feel like this is just Norman saying that he's gonna step down, and I have questions about whether he actually will.
Norman's definitely the cult leader.
Yeah, he's definitely the cult leader. He has 9 fingers. He is the oldest man in the group. Everyone's in their 20s except for Norman, the leader, 31, and his 9 fingers. And then, Deborah, who is their 65-year-old mom of the polycule.
Oh,
Yeah, which I kind of love that they have some age
I love
diversity in
that
there.
they
I
have
thought it
the
was just gonna be
mom.
a bunch of, like, hot 25-year-olds, but no, they've got Deborah in there too.
A random mom. Huh, that's interesting. So, someone pretty close to me actually lives in a polycule. They have a big mansion area in Philadelphia. One of their polycule members is from a wealthy family and got
You
the
gotta
house
have the
from
blue
there.
blood.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta have one blue blood. That's like the real key to the polycule
Yes.
is financial security. And they all live in like commune style where they all offer different things. Like
Mhm.
one of them runs the gardens, one of them takes care of the chickens, and all these things.
Which
And they
I
have
honestly love that part of it. I feel like we live in a close-knit neighborhood, and we often talk about how it'd be fun to have a commune kind of set up. I think it's the, like,
we just don't want to all sleep with
group
each
sex
other. Yeah.
exchanging partners, orgy aspect of it that I am, like, not personally ready for, but, it
Do
sounds
you
like
think
it
that you'll be ready for it when you're 64? You could
I
be
think
some
by then,
polycule mom.
I'm ready to be a polycule mom with a bunch of 20-something-year-olds. It must keep her young.
I feel like sometimes I'm like lucky that I ended up married with kids when I did, because I feel like otherwise I'd be like,
Up to some weird shit.
maybe I should join a polycule. Maybe I kind of would like that. I'm not sure. And like now, obviously, I'm happy my situation, but I'm just looking at a polycule example.
Oh,
Um,
this diagram. So I'm just looking at Kay's screen here to try to describe this for the outside observers. It kind of looks like one of those genealogy charts where there's lines between pink and blue. And I guess there's no non binary people, although I see maybe there's a third option on there and they just don't have any. But there's just like all these different blue and pink
well,
shapes with lines between them
yeah.
in different geometric configurations. And it looks like a very complex molecular structure.
The only thing that you worry about is that like could get messy. So, for example, in the polycule that I know about, like the girl's main partner actually does really want to be in a relationship with her, but she does not want that, though he is her primary person. So,
Okay.
like, the thickest line would be between the 2 of them, but she wants like, she still sleeps around with different, like, guys and women in the
Oh,
polycule,
okay.
but he has no
It's
other
more like an
lines coming
open
from him.
relationship than a
A
polycule, but
one-sided open
I'll let them
relationship. Well, they
call it
all
what they
live in their
want.
little house.
Well, yeah,
Well,
I mean,
big
I think as
house.
long as you have shared expectations and you are explicit about them, this polycule has a no playing favorites rule, which honestly seems easier to manage to me. Each member must spend the best of their ability and knowledge equal time with each other member, and there is no dating outside the polycule, except for when on holiday at Burning Man, but at least 3 members must be present when engaging with another individual or polycule. And I love the specificity and that they have obviously tested this one out and figured out the
Yeah,
details
imagine if you
in
were at
person at
Burning Man,
Burning
you thought
Man.
that one person was hot and you wanted to hook up with them, and then they were like, "My other 2 members will be coming with me, and by
For
the way,
observation
one of them is
purposes.
my grandma." Yeah, one
My
of them is my
polycule
mom.
mom.
I kinda love it.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they have some clear so things I like about this polycule, they have, clear expectations. The organizer type A in me loves that they, like, made these little lists and have a formal application, and honestly, it seems like an affordable way to live in San Francisco because they live in Noe Valley, and so somehow rent is 1570 a month, and that is after a seven-way split, and they live in a rent-controlled rental house apartment, I don't know.
Norman is definitely making some extra money there.
That is my theory because that works out to 11,000 per month, and I know the Bay Area is expensive, but they said it's and that's inclusive of utilities. But that still seems like
Do
a
they have,
lot.
like, the whole building?
They have a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath place. So, like, I don't
Nah.
think that that math is mathing for me, and I'd love for our San Francisco listeners to chime in. Also, you are required to be in a bed sharing situation, so you can select which member you want to share with first, and then they rotate on a monthly basis to avoid any favorite playing. But it seems like there is a fourth bedroom and 7 people, so on occasional
I
months,
don't
you get your
know.
own
I feel like
bedroom.
that would be too it would be very, very hard not to develop a favorite, but I guess after, I don't know, maybe
I guess
within a
that's
month
why
you
they have
settle
these,
in.
like, forced rotation kinds of things, but that seems like the worst part to me because I feel like I never want to have a roommate again. I would probably opt for either the situation friends have in Philadelphia where somebody's wealthy enough to have a big place and I can have my own room and
Well,
then move about the
yeah. We need
polycule.
the blue bloods.
You need a blue blood, first of all. Or, yeah, I would like the situation in the Jessa Kane book where I have my own house and all of us have our own houses across the street from each other, and then you can visit somebody's house when you feel like it, and then the rest of the time you can read quietly.
Mm,
That's more my polycule speed.
yes. A polycule, but make it wealthy, and maybe no Norman.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta take the hippies out of the equation.
Yeah.
So where I get a little bit concerned about this is they're looking for some kind of genetic selection specifics here. So they have a preferred height range of 5'5" to 5'10" for practical
Whoa.
positioning reasons.
Oh,
Um,
huh.
Although after, for example, your situation where there was the 2 girls stacked on top of each other,
Yeah, maybe they got a stack.
yeah,
Who
they've
knows?
learned about this, and
You can't stack with, like, a 6-foot girl and a 5-foot
I
girl.
do sometimes wonder about the
Maybe you
logistics of, like,
can.
couples with huge height differentials as well, and then when you get 7 people into the mix, it does seem like for ease of purpose, like, as a rower, like, in rowing situations, you gotta have all 8 people in the boat be the same height ideally, otherwise you're just, like, choppy and all over the place,
Yeah,
so I guess that's the
polycule
same.
rowing, same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. So there's definitely a breeder kink, because then they talk about how their long-term plan is to breed in the next few years, and they would like to have 3 to 4 kids. Then they give specifics about how one member is gonna breed with either this guy or that guy, and then the other young woman is gonna breed with Douglas specifically, because they believe that this would be the genetically optimal combinations in the next 1 to 2 years. So I have a lot of questions about what they mean by genetically
Who's
optimal.
upped out?
And then they have to
Eh,
check on you for 2 to 4 years before you can be considered to be added to the gene pool. And, then they have questions in the questionnaire that are a little bit of a red flag. They ask for your waist circumference, like, no other body dimensions. They said something about an ideal height, but they don't ask your height, but they do ask for your waist size. And then
it
they
is the best indicator, I think, of, like, whether or not somebody's obese. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. And I also feel like in some of the weirder corners of the internet, there's all these things about for men. They have ideal differentials between like a woman's waist and height or waist and hips, but then they don't ask your hip size. So I don't know. And then the only thing that they specifically ask about, like they give you a space to talk about your medical history if you want to breed. But the only thing that they specifically ask about is your family history of male pattern baldness.
Is it real?
Is this a real
Yes.
application? As
Yes.
far as I can tell, because like, they have a video from one of the members, because I guess they
Oh.
got a lot of questions, because they intro each of the members with, like, one line. My favorite is Douglas, who is 25 and an ex-Morgan Stanley who did some inner healing, comma, now a consultant. Which is just the most San Francisco polycule thing that I've ever heard. Um,
Gosh.
but then the last one says Zaid, the baby of the polycule, and the least favorite, quote unquote, haha, just kidding. That one
Eh.
is one of our inside jokes, which you'll get to know if you end up joining our polycule. So then they added later, because I saw this when I sent it to you, and then I went back and they had added this video. It's like Zaid does a, like, 20-second long video where he's like, "Guys, some of you were concerned, and I'm actually really happy in my polycule, and that was just a joke. But this thing looks like a hostage video." So I think that they're being kind of silly with the format and with their random questions, but I also think that they're serious about asking you to join their polycule, but their questions are very unserious, because it says, like, "What are your hobbies? Please select top 3." And then the options are basketball, yoga, making coffee, AI, video games, painting.
Oh my.
And
Hmm.
then there's a question that just says, "Please select a time." And then there is, let's say you're in a conga line, what number would you choose to be in order with 1 as the front and 7 as the back? So I feel like they may have specific things that they're looking for, like they're missing the number 5 in their conga line, and
Hmm.
they know, and they're looking for the right person who knows to select number 5 will mean that you vibe spiritually with their group.
Huh.
But I do feel like just this whole idea of trying to come up with questions and then find people via an application, like my book club had discussed at various times, that we were like, it would be good to include a couple new members, but not sure how to go about that, especially if we ask any of our friends. Like, it's kind of weird asking them to join an established book club. I'm not saying my book club is a polycule. But then
Sounded like you were.
we were jokingly like, oh, we could have like an online application. And I feel like it would have come off like this. And I'm really glad that we didn't.
Yeah, it's really hard when you put in your specifications and you have an idea of what you want, and wow. Okay.
I appreciate their organization, although at other times they seem completely like they're all over the place. They have a lot of rules about how they change things and when they meet and how far in advance they post changes to the schedule on their community board. And then they have playtime Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., which is 6 hours a week of scheduled playtime. Good for them. And I guess with like all the different
Is
people you need
playtime like
time.
an orgy or is it
Oh,
like
I think so.
volleyball?
Oh,
Yeah.
I was assuming more orgy, but then I
Yeah.
did have questions. If they are thinking about having kids in the next 1 to 2 years, I feel like that's really going to throw a wrench in their playtime. And I just want them to be prepared for that. Guys, I don't think that you're going to be able to have 6 hours a week of sexy time for a little
Oh my
while
god.
after you begin breeding your female members. But don't let that stop you.
And might result in reasonable corporal discipline voted on and forewarned 3 to 4 days in advance of punishment. Like, are we talking spanking or
I mean, I assume that's what corporal discipline means because it didn't say like disciplinary measures. It says corporal. So then I have questions about that because if your kink is being spanked, wouldn't you just be committing infractions for the purpose of getting a
spanking?
good spanking?
Yeah. I read a lot of spanking in Jessa Kane. Huh. Well, this has been well, extremely I don't know what to call it, but well, I guess a
Uh,
nice exploration from our boring lives as not a boring, perfectly lovely lives as
Perfectly lovely. And
yeah.
if you were questioning why you maybe missed the opportunity in your life that time when you could have joined a polycule and maybe that would have been something that you're into. Well, I feel like maybe it would have been more the Philadelphia Blue Blood one and less the San Francisco
Yeah,
uh spiritually
probably
enlightened
money already in
consultants one.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everybody has walked away learning something and feeling like they have more self-respect than me.
And if you are wanting to join a polycule, that it has helped you fine tune what your specifications would be for what you'd be looking for or who you'd be looking to add to your existing.
Yes. And, if you're ever feeling like you're not horny enough and you have anything sort of praise kink, just read some Jessa Kane, little novella, and you'll get your feed right in there.
Love it.
Well, thank you for listening. Bye.